and future of faith conversations is to deconstruct Western religion, the Western version of Christianity, and many layers of its engagement on so many areas of society that have been duplicitous must be addressed if there's going to be a survival mechanism of a vertical conversation. You know, that from the history of just chattel slavery to socioeconomic disparity, all the moments of the health and leadership of women in the conversation of faith, is that at every moment where the church could have been on the right side of history, leading the conversations of compassion and the betterment of all people, it failed in many ways. And it does not mean that it's also very important to note that Western Christianity and the teachings of Jesus Christ are not synonymous. They are not necessarily synonymous. That a lot of times they're not even in the same space. One is led by a totally different set of motives and agendas at times. And it does not mean that there are not good churches, and it doesn't mean that there are not good pastors. It just means that a lot of overall the systemic issues of organized religion, especially in the West, has not allowed for free thinking opportunities about what about us. Yeah. And I believe that when you look at the teachings of Christ and when you look at the word as a whole, that there's room for that there's room for our broken fears and our challenges and our struggles, and for everyone to have a seat at the table. That everyone deserves a seat at the table for the conversation that the Jesus I love and I believe in gave his life for everybody. That everybody can come and everybody can be part of that train, you know. And there's only one rule: no perfect people allowed. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so that's kind of how I want to try to lead my conversation, whether it's with the podcast or just in just my everyday space. Is I'm just trying my best to lead with my failures, my flaws, but you know, I'm an imperfect man. I'm a flawed individual in need of what someone define as a higher belief system, and I just don't believe that it's something that is just that is just passive or something that's just ethereal. You know, I really believe that there is substantive truth to what I believe, and that's why I'm so passionate about sharing it with other people. It's because I think that a lot of people find themselves, especially just within Western framework, always in the rat race. More fame, more power, more money, more this, more that, and you can end up being a human doing and never be a human being. Yeah. Right? You know, and so that's why I believe that faith matters. I believe that faith in something bigger than yourself is a very important thing, because if not, then we all grew up to be very selfish beings, right? You know, but when you have something bigger than you, reminding you that if the person next to you is not as good as you, we have a problem.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, what you're saying reminds me of the lack of women leadership in the church. And like my wife was trained to say when she wanted to get married, she's like, well, nobody's asking me out. You know, she was trained that I'm supposed to come, you know, look after her, and that she can't send the signal. You know, how can we in faith and culture encourage women leadership and in the church as well?
Yeah, it's I think that being married for 27 years myself, well, in January it'll be 27 years.
Congratulations.
You know, and well, thank you. And then also being adopted by a powerful woman. You know, I was raised by a woman. You know, a woman that legally adopted me. She was a widow, and so she raised me by herself. And so, I do believe that even the most powerful women, that a woman is not going to reject or deny the ability of a man to cover, encourage, and protect. Even the most powerful woman wants to know that when she goes to bed, that man got her. You know, she's not looking to get up with the bat in the middle of the night if there's a bump downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's going to roll over and look at it. It's like, you need to go see what that bump is. No matter how powerful and how much of a leader she is that no powerful woman is still asking to emasculate a man. And so that's why I think that the message of the culture gets the conversation of being a feminist wrong. Is that women are not trying to deconstruct men for the sake of their opportunity. They're saying that it is unfair for there to be 10 chairs at the table and 9 of them are men. That there's got to be enough voices at the table to be able to speak in the needs of all people. And so I believe that in the church there is not a rush or a need to emasculate male leadership in the church, but you've got to be able to have the voices that can add to the conversation for all people. And why not have brilliance in the room and not use it? Why not? Why would I limit my opportunity to be better? And right next to me in a pew is a perspective that is going to make the half more whole.
Yeah.
And so I just think that it's healthier conversations and less dogma.
Yeah, I think that's what you were getting at in your talk today. Like just a few minutes ago, you said you're trying to find truth, in your podcast and through Jesus Christ, and then your guest today said she, when you asked her straight up about a religion or a relationship with God or whatever the question was exactly, and she said she doesn't currently subscribe to one. How do you what do you take away from that in search for truth and faith and culture in your podcast?
There are many people that don't subscribe, and there are many people that do subscribe, but still are on the line of exactly what they subscribe to, and so there's so much data, so many studies, Pew Research is showing that by the year 2070, only 1/3 of Americans will make up Christianity.
Yes,
and so that. So that's daunting. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that these are real spaces that we've got to have conversations about, so that it doesn't, that's why I'm not afraid to have conversations with anyone. I could have a conversation with a wizard, somebody who believes in the cult, is because I'm so confident in what I believe, and I'm so confident in the mistakes that those that believe what I believe have made, that I believe that if I don't lead with love and humility, there is no conversation. Love and humility is the door to every opportunity to have a bigger conversation. If I would have condemned that young lady for believing in something, then I would have become the exact hypocrite that I say that I'm against. And so to give her the room, and in the journey of life, hopefully there may be enough of love that I show that I may make what I believe attractive enough that there may be a moment to even inquire once again about the space of faith. Is that what Christians don't understand, is that we are the best selling points to what we believe. And so every day you got to ask yourself, what kind of billboard are you? And so that is going to be the thing that attracts it. This generation of non-believers, atheists, and agnostics, and where the new God is science and technology, you better be aware that you can no longer lead with this authoritarian elitism space that led the narrative of Christianity during the 18th and 19th century and during the 20th century. That's not going to happen anymore. Is that it's going to be that one of the most powerful things that a Christian can say to questions that the culture has right now is sometimes to say, I don't know. How powerful to say, I don't know. But what I don't know doesn't cancel out what I do know. Now, see, that's an honest conversation.
That is, is it all right if I ask one more? I know we're at 10 minutes.
You can ask. Yeah,
okay,
come
all
on,
right.
you're good.
Okay.
Hey. They're not me.
All right,
Me.
all right.
You don't need to look over there.
I didn't know.
Do
if
you
had-
see me?
I see you.
I'm with you.
I didn't know if you had to get up.
This is us. I've already peed.
I know.
So I'm good.
Good. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, in light of what we're talking about is, a decrease in church attendance and more people becoming atheists and everything, is that, and then the church being split off with Trump and not knowing what love is.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And
it was the worst thing. It was the worst thing for Christianity, I believe, since Jim Crow.
Yeah. Well, how do we combat that? Is that
we call it out.
Honest conversation.
Is that we call it out, and we apologize for the duplicitous motives and intent that were used to try to manipulate systems, and then it's also sad that the systems are so weak that they can be that easily manipulated, right? And so we need to address that even in a macro level, right? And so, but it is time for Christians to understand that God cares about life from the womb to the tomb, and that if you only have these two pillars that you build your whole Christian ethics on, same-sex marriage and abortion, that you're missing the bigger point of the message of the greatest love story ever told. And so you're missing these key moments when people are dying and people are hungry and people can't even keep food on the table, and people can hardly pay for their gas, and people are still divided by socioeconomic and all the different levels of disparity, and just continue marginalized communities, and over policing and over criminalization and mass incarceration, and all of these things that are at the core of why America still does not work for a lot of people. And so until you have that conversation, you can't have a conversation about Jesus when it's only convenient to the things that you're passionate about.
Sure.
Because that's manipulation. That's manipulation. And that was the advent of the early church at even at Constantine's rule, right? Is that we saw that the Roman Catholic Church manipulated a lot of people to give the priest the power to be able to have the control over people for centuries. And so now that people have an opportunity to understand that what I was told was not always right, that we've got to get back to this truth of understanding that life matters, God matters, people matter. And so hopefully with good words, that's what I can be able to do, to be able to try to connect the dots, so that when people listen and watch, they'll get humor, they'll get entertainment, they'll talk, I mean, we've talked about God and how I gotta pee in the same 3 minutes, what I'm saying? And so we're going to talk about culture, we're going to talk about sex and marriage and Wu-Tang Clan, right? And they all happen today. It's because that's who I am. I'm a kid raised on hip hop, that was raised in church, that trusted Christ with his heart at the age of 15. I'm not perfect. I was on the Oprah Winfrey show. I was recorded by my oldest son using profanity. I mean, that's who I am. I am a fallen person, and I'm not proud about these moments. I'm not trying to manipulate these moments. I'm a broken soldier trying to get home, man. And on this podcast, we're going to have fun trying to get there. We're going to have honest conversations trying to get there, and we're going to let other people that are broken and want to have a place to talk come too. And so that's what makes me excited about having a podcast, is because I want to be able to try to speak to an audience that does not get church jargon, that does not understand the space that people of faith live in. They think that we're weirdos and they think that we're aliens, while at the same time the people that do believe there's something bigger than the club they just left, that they don't feel judged if they still come smelling like Hennessy. So good words is going to be the church that you can come to if you smell like Hennessy and weed, and if you don't believe in anything but aliens, you come. And we're going to have the bigger conversation, and you can agree or disagree, but I want there to be 10 chairs and that everybody can sit in.
All right. I like that. I think I might make that the tagline.
Yeah. It's kind of nice that we brought that back to the 10 chairs. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.